This screencast is going to show you how to create your Flipgrid account and then to create a grid and share it with your class. So the first thing you're going to do is, if you haven't signed up already, you're going to sign up. You will be using your Google account, which is great because you won't need to remember another password. So I'm going to sign up, log in with my educator login. And then you will come to your main screen, which is my grids. Now you see I have some grids made. So there's two elements to Flipgrid. There's a grid, right? And then within a grid, there's topics. So for example, I have a grid of summer reading book talks, and then there's 3 different topics within that grid. Each of these grids has a different code. So if you are a classroom teacher, in elementary, a self-contained classroom teacher, my suggestion would be to create a grid for your class, and then you can put as many topics as you want within that grid. If you are a teacher who teaches multiple sections of the same subject, I would suggest making a grid for each period, and then making your topics within there. If it's personal preference. However, if you teach 100 students and you have a grid of 100 students, that could be a little bit overwhelming. So what you're going to do when you're on your main grid page is you're going to hit Add New Grid. You're going to give it a name. So I'm going to say Miss Stevens Class. And so you are going to make it a school email. And that's because our students all have the same NVNet addresses. So you're going to make it school email. And then, or if you're in Harrington Park, HPSD. And what you'll do then is you'll hit next, and it'll say just add the school email, say add nvnet.org, and that's what you'll do. And that way, when the students go to log in with your code, they'll be able to log in with their Google accounts. You're going to hit next. And then this is the code that you share with your students, and you share it however you want to share it. So if you use Schoology, PowerSchool, you can paste it on there. You can put it on a Google Doc and share the Google Doc with your students. If you use Google Classroom, it actually can share it to you right to your Google Classroom, right? So that's your grid. Now, what you can do, there's some different actions that you can do within your grid. So there's your name, there's the link. You did student email. So you can be notified when new student videos are submitted. That's a personal preference. If you want to get an email when that happens, I suggest turning off download and share, because that way the students cannot download the videos from the Flipgrid. And I would also say to turn off grid followers, because students don't need to get email notifications when new topics are created. You're going to do that for them. And then you can make a nice little cover if you want for your grid. And that's it. Your grid is created. If you have a co-teacher or another adult in your room, you can also add a co-pilot. Just by inviting them with an email, you can have another adult on your grid.